Hello and welcome to GABA TV. I'm Pamela Lenz-Sommer, and today we are going to discuss business opportunities in North Rhine-Westphalia. And with us are three representatives of North Rhine-Westphalia Invest. Let me introduce them. First is Dr. John Gato. He's President and CEO of North Rhine-Westphalia Invest North America in Chicago, and he started the office in 2008. And his previous career is in international law and business. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Then we have Michael Cordus. He is head of Division North America and Western Europe of North Rhine-Westphalia Invest. Welcome to the program. And then Stefan Jungen. He is the project manager heading the North American desk at North Rhine-Westphalia Invest for more than 20 years. Welcome to the program. Okay, let's get started. What do you think, what services can North Rhine-Westphalia Invest provide for international companies interested to expand to North Rhine-Westphalia?
North Rhine-Westphalia Invest is one of the economic development agencies in North Rhine-Westphalia. And what we are doing is acting as a one-stop agency, supporting our clients willing to do investment or planning investment projects in North Rhine-Westphalia and assisting them, for example, giving them advice regarding tax and legal issues. But it's not the only point, tax and legal issues, but also if they are trying to find the right location where to settle up the new business in North Rhine-Westphalia, our project managers will sort it out for them. So we give them really hints and coordinating all activities in finding the right place of doing business in North Rhine-Westphalia.
Mm-hmm. Anything you would like to add to?
Yeah, we also can arrange meetings with relevant industry representatives. For example, if somebody is interested in a certain expertise, be it in the industry or be it in our widespread R&D environment, we can also establish such contacts for them, which is also a very important issue whenever entering a new market.
Correct. Dr. John Gato, you want to?
Yes, you might want to add that Nrw.Invest has offices worldwide. Our headquarters are in Düsseldorf, Germany, of course. Our North American offices that cover Canada and the United States is in Chicago. We have 3 offices in China, 2 in India, 1 in Japan, Turkey, South Korea. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting any, but the point I'm trying to get across is that we are very close to our clients, very close to the investors, which is an advantage that other regions investment locations in Europe do not have. We're one of very few locations that actually have brick and mortar operations in the marketplace that we're serving, which gives us the advantage to talk to the client in the same time zone, same language.
And why should companies invest in Germany and specifically in North Rhine-Westphalia?
North Rhine-Westphalia is one of the, I'd say, #1 investment locations within Germany. And more than 13,000 different international companies have chosen North Rhine-Westphalia to be their chosen location. And the most important reasons for the location in North Rhine-Westphalia is the proximity to the sales market. So most of the companies have chosen these locations to get a better reach to their customers. And due to the population density in North Rhine-Westphalia, it is the most dense populated region within Germany, for example. You can reach a lot of customers, nearly 250 million customers in a radius of 500 kilometers within the state. And as well, North Rhine-Westphalia can offer these companies a good access to a wide-ranging industry structure due to the history of the country.
Yeah, and it brings me to my next question. North Rhine-Westphalia is considered one of the largest exporting markets in Germany. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you may know that Germany in general is considered to be the world leader or the world champion when it comes to exports. And North Rhine-Westphalia, with more than 20% of the German exports, is clearly in the lead with regard to that aspect. This covers all of our industries that we have, and these are, of course, the well-known and the traditional ones, if you like, are the mechanical and electrical engineering industries, but it clearly goes beyond that. But as I said at the beginning, to sum that up, North Rhine-Westphalia exports more than 20% of what Germany is exporting in total, and that is quite important for us to know and is attractive for international companies.
Absolutely. And can you please point out the benefit of North Rhine-Westphalia's labor market to international companies?
We have an extraordinarily high level of skilled workforce in our state. The level of productivity is very high, very strong work ethic in the region. We found that recently when companies that were already invested in the state moved out of our country into a low-cost labor marketplace just to save some dollars and probably take advantage of some incentives that were being offered. They're already within 2 years of making the move outside of North Rhine-Westphalia, considering coming back because they found in the other marketplace, first of all, labor costs are rising, whereas in Germany they're beginning to become lower and lower. So there's the beginning of a parity of labor cost in Europe, which benefits Germany and North Rhine-Westphalia certainly. But this particular company also found a very low level of work ethics and productivity there, which impacted the quality of the product and their bottom line as well. So I think that would be a very valuable benefit to point out.
Very good. You want to add to that, or?
Yes, and besides, for example, the number of people are available for different jobs for our investors, the high density of university provides a really qualified range. The Rhine-Ruhr area is relatively well known for all activities in the biotechnology, in the medicine activities, or biohealth, so-called biohealth activities. So, and the area in the center of North Rhine-Westphalia is really good equipped with staff coordinating all logistics activities, as well as the availability of well-trained and experienced staff.
And different subject, but if a company wants to open an office in North Rhine-Westphalia, what cultural opportunities does North Rhine-Westphalia have to offer?
We have a broad museum and theater landscape, which even surpasses those of, for example, New York, London, or Paris.
Oh, really?
But on the other hand, also what we can offer in terms of nature, meaning resorts or reservoirs, hiking trails, etc. So there's really an abundance of opportunities to enjoy life. So North Rhine-Westphalia is not only a good place to work in, but also a good place to live in.
If I may, Pamela, just
please.
to interject briefly,
Yes.
one thing, it's not necessarily a cultural aspect per se, but something that may be important to investors from outside of the country is that we offer a whole slate of international schools in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is important to foreign executives that come and start operations, at least for the interim, until they hand over local operations to the local German employees.
So when talking about the labor market, Michael mentioned the university level education, which is top-notch, but we also have something that is maybe not known to international investors when it comes to vocational training, because we have what we call the apprenticeship system, meaning that a normal skilled labor undergoes that apprenticeship, which takes 3.5 years, and which is provided by any industry. And this also guarantees that not only on the university level, but also on the shop floor level, we have a lot of very well trained and skilled people.
So how does North Rhine-Westphalia's GDP compete internationally, and what does that mean for international companies interested to expanding to North Rhine-Westphalia?
So the GDP of North Rhine-Westphalia with 520 billion euros is by far the biggest one compared to all other GDPs brought into the budget from all other counties of Germany as well. And compared to the international relationship, for example, North Rhine-Westphalia GDP is ranking at number 17 in comparison to all other countries. And if you put this into a relation to the purchasing power and the population, it exceeds by far also the performance of all other, let's say, states of Germany as well. And for the international investors, this does mean that the purchasing power of their customers to bring in their products and to bring in their offers as well is really dominating compared to all other regions within smaller Europe.
Okay. What are the most dominant industries in North Rhine-Westphalia, and how can investors benefit from them?
So North Rhine-Westphalia has a very broad and multifaceted industry base,
Yes.
covering the the traditional industries, meaning mechanical and electrical engineering. But on top of that, there is also chemical industry, which can be, again, be subdivided into plastics processing and base material production. But there is also what they call the modern industries, like the information technology industries, the biotechnology industries, and the communications technology in general, which are very dominant in North Rhine-Westphalia as well. So there is really a very broad base of industry, which means on the one hand a lot of customers and a lot of suppliers as well. And so an international investor really has a very broad choice.
So would you say that North Rhine-Westphalia is the #1 investment location? And if you say so, why?
Absolutely, I would say so, because first of all, I represent North Rhine-Westphalia. But no, without a doubt, it is the #1 investment location. Of course, I will be honest about it and differentiate. North Rhine-Westphalia or Germany won't be the ideal site for just any investor. It really depends, and we really pay close attention to the investors' particular needs when they're looking for a site to set up their facilities in Europe. But overall, it's really easy, and I think from our perspective also fair to say that we are the #1 investment location, not only within Germany but also within Europe. And not only do we have the highest per capita purchasing power, but if you combine that fact with the sense that we're the notion that we're the third most densely populated region after London and Paris in Europe, then you have a very, very large pool of purchasing power for your products that we'd like to sell to the European marketplace. I could go on for quite a while, but
please go on. This is good.
It's a really very fun topic to talk about. I'm very passionate about North Rhine-Westphalia. It's an easy product to sell.
Yeah, please.
For a lot of different reasons.
What are some other reasons now that we talk about it? What makes North Rhine-Westphalia unique to?
I think we should pick up also on the geographical location of North Rhine-Westphalia. North Rhine-Westphalia, it is not, as John pointed out, why we are from North Rhine-Westphalia, but it is in the center of Europe.
Yes.
Because especially looking at the infrastructure which is provided by the state, as well as the road density, as the waterways density, as well as the logistics connections, for example, to the export and import markets in Europe due to the direct connections to the overseas harbors like Antwerpen, Rotterdam, Seebrugge, or even to the northern parts of Germany, which are some of the well-known world harbor areas. It provides an infrastructure which offers a client or an investor best prerequisites to step into the European markets. So as well as, for example, we are operating I guess it is the third or fourth biggest airports out of Cologne and Düsseldorf, which were used as a hub by really, really well-known companies, logistics-wise, but also for passenger traffic all over Europe.
Very good. And Mr. Jungen, why North Rhine-Westphalia?
Let me point out one thing. So a lot of important aspects or arguments in favor of the state have already been mentioned and cited. And these advantages of the state have been recognized by a lot of companies, which is why, and I don't want to bore you with statistics, but there is a statistic, of course,
please,
where North Rhine-Westphalia is clearly in the lead when it comes to foreign direct investment volumes with regard to the rest of the German federal state. So North Rhine-Westphalia surpasses the other German states by far when it comes to the total amount of foreign direct investment. And I think there's got to be a reason for that. And I think that international companies over the years, and international companies have been coming to North Rhine-Westphalia for decades, really. So over the years they have realized and recognized these advantages and hopefully have been spreading the word so that additional companies take advantage of that too.
Right. Can you name some companies that are currently located in North Rhine-Westphalia? American companies?
Depending on which statistic you choose, we have more than 1,000 North American companies in our state. And the most important ones, which have really become household names over the centuries, are, for example, Ford Motor Company, 3M, Mars, and only recently the Amazon company set up 2 huge distribution facilities in our state.
Okay.
2 others that come to mind from a different industry spectrum are Caterpillar, especially their mining division.
Yes.
And Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I live. That's why I happen to know this fact. Out of its 48 facilities within Germany, 13 happen to be headquartered in North Rhine-Westphalia, which also includes their European headquarters. So I think facts like that really speak for themselves.
Absolutely. Anything we missed? It's an interesting topic. So.
Yeah, okay. So maybe coming back to what can we do for newcomers to North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany. And this is a service which I think is quite good and a well-proven thing that we have been practicing over the years. So we literally take the companies by the hand and guide them through the relevant processes. For example, we have learned over the years that especially North American companies think that, well, German bureaucracy and the administration, this is very difficult to handle, and if not impossible to handle. And I think we very often succeed in proving that this is not the case. But of course they need some guidance to guide them through the processes, to get them into contact with the relevant decision makers when it comes to an operating permit, etc. And this is something where we really developed a very profound skill to guide them through these processes. And this has been paying off in numerous projects.
I'm sure, very good. So let's talk about logistics, which is a very important aspect of North Rhine-Westphalia. I understand that in 2010 the World Bank named Germany as the world's best performing logistics location. What role did North Rhine-Westphalia play in this?
North Rhine-Westphalia operates, for example, one of the biggest or even the world's biggest inland shipping harbors. And as I mentioned before, it is one of the prerequisites to prepare North Rhine-Westphalia to be the export and import champion as well. And nevertheless, besides all activities with the inland shipping harbors and direct connections, let's say to the gate of the world, from Rotterdam, Antwerp, or via Hamburg, or whatever, you name it, and whatever the customers choosing for their distribution channels, North Rhine-Westphalia has invested a lot of money to improve the infrastructure, to provide, for example, the infrastructure to build up new logistics centers in different areas wherever the customers would like to have them. Stefan mentioned, for example, the latest investment of Amazon, which have built up 2 big logistics centers in North Rhine-Westphalia of about more than 100,000 square meters each this year. And it is not only Amazon, but also TJ Maxx, for example, or other well-known companies. And one of the major tasks of our government is to provide the prerequisites to do such an investment and to be prepared, for example, to keep the infrastructure up to date for the investment, that these investments could be taken immediately, initially, and relatively fast by potential investors and interested investors in the logistics.
Can you please explain, summarize the strength of North Rhine-Westphalia's infrastructure to foreign investors? Just again, summarize it.
So one of the most densest highway systems, one of the most dense railway systems, the world's largest inland port in Duisburg, which can you can access it through the Rhine River, Rotterdam. You can offload goods from the barges at Duisburg and continue to ship them on multimodal, on rail, on truck, and so forth. a number of very important airports, Düsseldorf being the number one, Cologne equally as important depending on whether you count passenger or cargo. Just a number of these factors, and of course, as I always like to point out, the third most densely populated region in Europe after London and Paris.
Right.
So we have been talking about the major two airports in North Rhine-Westphalia
Yes.
all the time, which are Cologne and Düsseldorf, and they are important. But there are also some other smaller regional airports which are important whenever an international company wants to cover the rest of Europe, because these smaller airports, of course, don't have the transatlantic connections that Cologne and Düsseldorf have, but they offer and guarantee access to almost any other European destination. So international companies are not necessarily limited to the Cologne or Düsseldorf area to locate, but whenever they consider to enter the rest, if you will, of the European market, they can choose other locations and areas in North Rhine-Westphalia as well, because the airport system offers them access to the rest of Europe very easily.
Very good. So now, can you please explain the concept of green logistics, and can you point out some challenges that you might have in the future and how you plan to overcome them?
The future challenges will be to improve the network, the existing network, but not only to improve it, but also to maintain a good level and the current level we have got in place. And one of the challenges also will be to avoid congestions, because the movement of products will enormously rise. I don't want to talk about figures at this stage, but nevertheless, just to give an indication in that sector, the movements per truck, for example, and which has a direct impact on the road infrastructure at least, will more than double in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah? So independently who has worked on the statistics, but nevertheless this is the trend and the problems which might occur in the next future. With regard to the second part of your question, green logistics, so everybody has got another understanding of green logistics, yeah, whatever it is. So from my point of view, green logistics is one of the key and core competences of North Rhine-Westphalia anyway, because of the before or aforementioned infrastructure described. You've got the opportunity to use trimodal parts of transports. And the thing is to convince, for example, as well customers and clients to use this infrastructure. And the thing is also to make this infrastructure competitive to prices. So these are some challenges which are, I think we are quite ahead according to other states as well.
Yeah, do you want to point out why you think you're ahead, what the benefits are that North Rhine-Westphalia has to offer?
Well, I can say from our perspective here in North America, we've played a very significant role over the last 2 years in becoming a player in the what some call the marketplace of electromobility, alternative drive trains, battery-driven cars, hydrogen-driven cars. And while we, as regular consumers, are always confronted with new passenger cars, what is not so readily known is that, and we do it very well in North Rhine-Westphalia, is that a lot of research and commercialization of new technology is taking place in our state that deals directly with logistics, i.e. Providing new types of vehicles to take product from the harbor to the warehouse. Inside the warehouses you have battery-driven forklifts instead of diesel-driven forklifts. There are all kinds of different things that are going on in that marketplace that don't only apply to the passenger transportation issues, but also to the logistics issues. And we have a number of different research facilities that collaborate with industry, with car manufacturer, with delivery van manufacturers that are looking at the issues of reducing carbon emissions and quieter, not so noisy for the inner city. Germany specifically, or much of Europe, is very densely populated, so you don't want those very loud trucks going through the cities when they're delivering goods to the local bakeries and so forth. So there's a lot of research and development going on in that area. And we as a state agency, as an economic development agency, have played a major role in identifying the key players here in North America, for example, over the last 2 years. Go to the key conferences, establish partnerships with the key players, and get them ready to become investors in this technology when, in a few years, commercial product is in the marketplace.
Very good. Good. Let's now talk about electric mobility. Can you describe some new developments in electric mobility in North Rhine-Westphalia?
So North Rhine-Westphalia has really three centers of excellence for, on the one hand, everything that is connected to energy storage, which is battery technology. So we really have, I think it's more or less, and he will be very delighted to hear that, we have the world champion of the professors that is who is dealing with battery technology, and he is in North Rhine-Westphalia. So this is very important, and John mentioned before that we attend trade shows and conferences, and we succeeded in involving that professor in our activities as well, which is quite good for us and for the state. So battery technology is one of the pillars. Then everything that goes with, if you will, the rest of the car, powertrain, etc., you just name it, this is represented in North Rhine-Westphalian universities. So this aspect is also covered in our state. And last but not least, for electric mobility, it is very important to have a smart management of the energy. So we have a lot of energy companies in North Rhine-Westphalia that also are going into that field of electric mobility, how to smartly distribute the energy. So also this important pillar is represented in North Rhine-Westphalia. And you were asking about the latest development. So of course these three fields are constantly being delved into. People are doing research in each of these three aspects, so it's quite difficult to point out an individual really success. And if you have a look at the global trends, I think there is no individual state and or company that can today say we have the solutions to all the problems. But I think that North Rhine-Westphalia is very well on its way to play in the first league of e-mobility activities due to the factors that I pointed out before. The good message for international investors or international companies interested in this field is, be it the fuel cell aspect, be it the traditional, if you will, battery aspect, North Rhine-Westphalia can provide expertise and know-how in both areas.
Good. I think what would be nice to summarize again, why companies should come to North Rhine-Westphalia and to you.
We are nice guys.
We are nice guys.
Aside from being the best economic development
say it
team
again.
in the world, the funnest to work
yeah,
with.
you should say that again. I mean, if you could summarize it again, all that you've said.
I'll start again out in the marketplace, like myself, heading up the North American office, which has a huge territory to cover, both the United States and Canada. And I have been lobbying heavily for South America as well, because I've never been to Brazil. But it's really important to note that we take this economic development and trying to recruit foreign direct investment into our region very seriously. And we undertake a very serious and professional effort of convincing investors that North Rhine-Westphalia is the ideal location for them. And I want to highlight that based on the fact that we are only one of very few states in Germany, countries within Europe that have full brick and mortar, fully staffed operations deployed across the world. That really do nothing else but seek out the companies that are already planning to do something in Europe, offer our services, hand-holding. We do it all for them. We help them find the real estate. It's really a turnkey. Once I identify, together with my staff in Chicago, companies that are suitable in seeking sites in Europe, we hand off the project to our colleagues in Düsseldorf, to Stefan, Michael, and others there, who really not only have the in-house resources that we can provide over there, but they are very, very well connected and densely networked with all the key decision makers on the ground there, that make an easy job of a U.S. or Canadian company going to North Rhine-Westphalia and setting up a new facility.
Very good.
So it's a very hands-on personal effort to bring the investor not only to the country, to Germany, to North Rhine-Westphalia, but also to maintain an ongoing relationship with them to make sure that that initial investment stays successful, and that they're so happy that when expansion plans arise down the road that they continue to expand within our region.
And how can investors get in contact with you?
In this modern world, in any way imaginable, we have websites, we have a lot of, you could Google us, you'll come across a host of information about us. You can call our offices. We market ourselves in print publications that are specific to certain industries and conferences. We do a lot of networking. We're going to direct everybody to your TV interview. There's just a number of different ways of getting in touch with us.
Very good. Anything we forgot? Otherwise, I close the interview. No.
I think John has covered all the aspects. Just to let me finish with a remark, North Rhine-Westphalia, it's worth every dollar you would like or intend to invest.
Yes. Thank you very much for the interview. I learned a lot. It was very interesting. So thank you for watching Gerber TV. We will see you next week. Thank you.